host of the Sports Dime, which you can hear on Sunday mornings at on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, starting at 10 a.m. Carolina, how you doing?
I am doing really good. Happy end of the year.
Right, happy end of the year. We're actually here because we need to talk about something that happened yesterday. Spurs' very own Becky Hammon made history as the first woman to coach an NBA team because Coach Bob got tossed. I say he did it on purpose, so he could give Becky some. It's been a long time coming, Carolina. I got to say, I thought that this moment would have happened sooner, but needless to say, I was excited and kind of taken aback at history in the making here by one Becky Hammon. How did you feel?
I was really excited. I too thought this would have happened sooner. Last year, when Spurs assistant coach Tim Duncan took the reins, I thought, when Tim Duncan was acting the head coach, I thought it would have been Becky Hammon at that moment because she had had major experience as far as coaching and being on the assistant coach staff since 2014. But now, is a great time as well. I was very, very enthusiastic and happy that she was the first woman ever to act as an NBA head coach. And of course, she's very humble about it. And I loved her response. She was unhappy because they ended up losing that day. And she's really hard on herself. And I really love that. They ended up falling short to the Lakers yesterday, 121 to 107. But I think the story of last night's game was that Becky was able to step in. I think she's done an incredible job as an assistant coach. She had said yesterday in the post media interviews that during practice, her and Coach Greg Popovich split up in teams, and she coaches one team and he coaches the other during practice. So the players are familiar with her as a coach. So I feel like that transition of her being head coach was really, really smooth yesterday.
It was smooth, and to go ahead and let people know who maybe didn't watch that, uh, Hammond was filling in for Pop, who official Derek Richardson had ejected with 3 minutes and 56 seconds left in the second quarter after he received a pair of technicals because he was arguing because of the no call that DeMar DeRozan did not get. Um, he was going in for a layup attempt and he got fouled and it was a no call. And Coach Pop had seen enough at that point, and that was it. That was his time for exiting the game. But I'd like to go ahead and quote something that Becky Hammon said after the game. She put, "Obviously, it's a big deal, a substantial moment," Hammond said. "I've been part of this organization. I got traded here in 2007. So I've been in San Antonio and part of the Spurs and sports organization with the Stars and everything for 14 years. I have had a lot of time invested, and they have a lot of time invested in me and building me and getting me better. I'm glad that she acknowledged that this was a substantial moment. She really doesn't say things of that nature because it's always about team first, and I really praise her for that because she's always thinking about the players and the organization and what she can do to make things better for them. But for her to take a quick moment and say it was a substantial moment, she didn't say it was for me, but she said a substantial moment, which is the emphasis is for all of us, and I think it was a groundbreaking moment. And I was glad that it was the San Antonio Spurs that were involved with this. This was history in the making. There's been a lot of talk of who's going to take the reins after one Coach Pop decides to hang it up, which I hope he continues coaching for a little bit more. Because I mean, every year that he goes out there and coaches could be his last year. We never know because he'll just leave, much like Tim Duncan, and just say, "All right, season's over. I'm out." He's not going to come and make it known. He doesn't want the fanfare. But it seems like Coach Becky Hammon, uh, she's paid her dues, Carolina. She's done everything that you need to do to grow within the organization, and she's earned the respect of both the coaching staff and the players. To me, it would just seem like a perfect fit for Becky Hammon to make history and be the first official head coach in the NBA. I mean, what do you think about not only her quote, but her opportunity to actually be the next coach of the San Antonio Spurs?
I think that she hit the nail on the head. It is a substantial moment. And I believe that her saying that, like, and I agree with you, it was just to touch base for all women. being a young girl, probably watching television, loving basketball, is probably going to look at Becky Hammon and say, I want to be an NBA head coach one day. And they will probably get it done. As Vice President elect Kamala Harris said, you're the first, but you probably won't be the last, which it is a huge impact on women because it just basically is stating this is the first time and it's going to continue because she broke the barrier. And I really love that she took that moment, recognized it, acknowledged it, and then continued to act as a head coach with the head coach mentality. They needed to get the win. One point that you pointed out to me that stands out is people are saying, where is she going to go after, Coach Popovich leaves? I would love to see her stay in San Antonio. San Antonio, Greg Popovich is a very progressive minded individual. And I believe that him bringing up Becky Hammon as to and building her up to become a NBA head coach is incredible. You know, there's many organizations that could possibly get this done, but the San Antonio Spurs did it first. And I think that it's really says a lot about the organization and their inclusivity of women. So I really, respect the San Antonio Spurs organization for just, not acknowledging gender bias or any barriers and just being able to build her up and treat her as they treat anybody else. So it's very impactful. It makes a statement towards for the NBA. A lot of people are saying, where is she going to go? It has to be like maybe a Mark Cuban, but he's already stuck on Carlisle. He's one of those progressive minded coach. What better place to be is in San Antonio? You hit the nail on the head. All the coaches, all the players, they respect her. So it would be nice to see her here.
Yeah, just to show you, how well respected she is. Greg Popovich even had some kind words to say about her after the game. He put, well, obviously, I think very much of her abilities, having hired her, Coach Pop said, that all began when I saw her play. She was a leader. Everybody on the team reacted to her. She was very confident, very competitive. She led the whole show. And when I got to know her, she is she is in our coaches meetings before she was hired. While she was hurt that first season, I found out about her knack for the game, her innate understanding of what wins, what losses, what has to be there to make a program. So she's got all the tools necessary to be a heck of a head coach in our league. Even, DeJounte Murray after the game, he agreed and he said, I'm a I'm a player, she's a coach. I think she has the knowledge, said Murray, who finished the Thursday's game with a career high 29 points to go with his 7 rebounds and 7 assists. He also went on to say, I think she knows the game really well, but it's up to her if she really wants it. If she wants it, I believe she could do it. She's passionate about the game. She's passionate about winning. She knows everything about it. She is, and does, become a head coach permanently, or if she doesn't, I'm not gonna love her the same, and I'm gonna love her the same and appreciate her the same. The future is bright for her. I hope she sticks to it and doesn't give up. One day it may happen or it may not happen. Who knows? But she's definitely on the right road, and I think everyone here appreciates her. So her work ethic, her enthusiasm for the game, and not only that, but her knowledge of the game itself. Having followed Becky Hammon in the WNBA, because I myself have a daughter, and I like to impart on her that because she is a female, and she's a young woman right now, that there are no limitations to her, and I like to see strong women such as Becky Hammon pave the way for all these young girls, that there is no limits. The only limits you set are the ones you set for yourself. By her breaking these barriers and showing that she's not just doing it with her knowledge of the game, but by her work ethic, she's earned the respect and admiration of everybody on this in this organization. And I think everybody around the league. Um, she is just set up to become a head coach. And if it's not with the San Antonio Spurs, I'd be disappointed, but I'd be thrilled to see her coach any team one day,
I would too. It wouldn't matter where she went as long as she's a head coach. I'm happy. I'm happy. No matter where she goes, but I would absolutely love for her to be right here in San Antonio.
Yeah. You think that day is gonna happen sooner rather than later, Carolina?
You know what? I believe so. And the reason why I believe so is not because she's just a woman, so they're giving it to her. You and I both seen it, Joe. You follow the Spurs very, very closely. Becky has put in the work in order to become a head coach. She's been doing this since 2014. She's a WNBA, she was a WNBA player, has a high basketball IQ, is coming up under the greatest coach of all time, and he's backing her up. The players respect her. I mean, the writing is in the wall, and like DeJounte said, if she really wants it, she can go get it. There's a difference between her and Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, assistant coach, big name, looks great, but he left the game because maybe it wasn't for him, maybe it was for personal reasons, I don't know. But when you want to be a head coach, when this is something that you're set on doing, nothing is going to stop you from getting to that point. And Becky has put in the work, went to coaches' meetings, assist Greg Popovich whenever she can. I think it's definitely going to happen, and it's an amazing feeling because seeing her on the court, telling the players what to do and just coaching the game, even though they lost, seeing her just be so dominant on the court and being a dominant presence is just exciting because we know that we're at the cusp of the next, or the first, I'm sorry, female NBA head coach. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's inspiring, you know,
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
being a father of a young woman. It's inspiring. I want her to see these strong women, you know, be role models for her. And as I stated, it really shows her that you can do whatever you want to in this world. Everything is there for you. You just have to go out there and get it, and that part has to do with not only how smart you are and what you're doing out there, but also your work ethic. A strong work ethic will take you far, as you well know, Carolina. So you are, I think, as inspiring as well to any
Oh,
of these
thank you.
females that want to come into the industry and get into the broadcasting game, because you've shown through hard work and determination anything is possible.
Thank you, Joe. I just take it day by day, and that's kind of why Becky inspires me too. You listen to the things that she says and they kind of resonate with you, just being a woman and being in an industry where you have to break the barriers. And you don't really think about it until it happens. And then when it happens, it's impactful and you didn't even realize that that's what you were doing the whole time. So I'm really thankful that you bring me on, first of all, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be in this type of position. So um, just being around great people all the time just allows me to continue to work and work hard. But back to Becky, it's the same exact mentality, the same exact mindset. Being around people that allow her to be great and just put in the hard work, and she shows up and she does it, just puts her in a position to be great. And I think that that's the most important thing. She made mention, the Spurs organization, they built her up, they've supported her. And with any woman that's trying to break a barrier, that is very important that you are surrounded by people who are going to lift you up. So kudos back to you, Joe, for being so helpful throughout my whole entire journey.
No, it's a pleasure, of course. But I want to talk one thing about Becky Hammon that I've observed as we start bringing this to a close. She's a really hands-on coach. I've seen her, and I've had the privilege to sit at the games. Maybe 2 hours before tip, and sometimes I'll just sit there on the sidelines. And right there in the expensive seats. By the court, and I watch the players work out with the coaches. And when I see Becky out there, she's imparting her knowledge of the game to these younger players. She's working with them. She's showing them what she wants them to do on the court. And it's amazing to see, because she's not only telling them how they should position themselves and how they should pivot and how they should get ready to make their move going to the rim. She's actually showing them how to do that. She gets in front of them and plays defense against these guys, and she's just handing them the ball. She's telling them, she's screaming at them, yelling, hey, you need to move here, you need to move there. I want you to do this, I want you to do that. And to me, that's amazing to see that she is one of these people that's going to be in the trench with you doing the work. She's not only going to tell you what to do, she's going to show you what to do.
Hmm.
And to me, that right there just showed me how special she is. And I look forward to the day when I can see her be the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs if that happens.
Me too. And you just made a really good point. Seeing her, I've been to one practice, but in that practice, one thing is I was able to meet her. So I can say I met the first female NBA head coach. That was my only starstruck moment ever, meeting anybody. But she was very I was watching her on the court the whole time. Tim Duncan was, running on the side of the court doing drills with everyone, which is important, like you said, to do the drills with your players. Becky was right there assisting Rudy Gay with his jumper the entire time, telling him how she
Yeah.
wanted to position himself and everything like that. So then when you go to the games, you see the exact same thing. So this is something that is not only continuous on the court right before a game, but it's at the practices and just throughout the entire duration of the Spurs trying to build themselves for the upcoming seasons.
Yeah, and if they, the audience here, as we start bringing, this to a close already, if they want to know more about this history-making moment, you just wrote an article, So why don't you let everybody know where they can check out the nice article that you just wrote?
Yes, I wrote an article. You can visit www.sports. Wait, that's not it. It's www.sportsastoldbyaGirl.com. So if you go to www.sportsastoldbyaGirl.com, you can check out the article about Becky Hammon making history as the first acting NBA head coach.
And there you go. And where can they catch the Sports Time Carolina on Sundays?
You can catch the Sports Dime every Sunday from 10 to 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We're going to be doing a deep dive more into how the Spurs are going to be doing this week, and of course Becky Hammon. So definitely hope you can tune in, Joe. Hope everybody who's listening can tune in as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely be tuning in to check out what you guys have to say. And of course, we also like all the sports takes that you and Rudy both bring to the sports time. It's always entertaining and a lot of fun. So, not only that, but where can they follow you if they want to talk with you about the world of sports on Twitter?
You can follow me on at Carolina Teague underscore. That's CarolinaTeague underscore. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me everywhere. I'm being a little bit quiet, but you can follow me everywhere, and I would love to engage with you guys.
And there you go. Make sure you go and follow Carolina Teague. So, that's about all the time we have for today's episode of the Two Shots Podcast. And like we always say, spread the love, stop the hate, be kind. We're out.